everybody. Hi everybody. Miss Kate here with another quick science experiment. This week I decided to record outside of the library. I don't know if you can see, but there we are. I got to be back outside the library. Yay! Now it might be a little noisy because of the traffic, so I'll try to speak up. So this week I am going to teach you a little bit about hydrophobic sand. Now, trust me when I tell you I am not a scientist. So what I am learning is what I found on the internet with some research. So, first thing, the word hydrophobic. It's a pretty big word, right? But if you break it down into two parts, it's not so hard. Hydro, what do you think of? Water? Okay, so there's the water part. And phobic. What do you think of when you think of phobic? Maybe a phobia? Being afraid? So what we're going to do is make hydrophobic sand. We're going to make sand that is afraid of water. Now, sand doesn't actually have emotions or fears, but we can make it so that it wants to avoid the water. Okay, so what I did was I used some Scotchgard. I forgot to bring it with me to show you because I'm scatterbrained, but I can put a link to it in the description of the video or in the comments. And sand. That's all it took. Now what I did was I sprayed down some regular old sand with this Scotchgard and let it sit and dry for a couple of days. So what I've got here is my hydrophobic sand and some regular sand so that you can see the difference. Now, right now, you probably can't tell much. I will tell you this is a little bit more damp from having the spray in it. This is very loose and soft, and it's a little bit lighter colored. But other than that, you can't really tell the difference. And then I've got our water. So what I'm going to do is reposition the camera so that you can see what happens when we put the hydrophobic sand into the water. All right? So I'm going to tip the camera down. There we go. Now first, I have my regular sand. So you can see what sand does in the water. See, I'll do a little bit on the grass. You can see it's nice and loose, just like regular sand running right through my hands. So if I put it in the water over here, it all stays as loose individual grains and floats all the way to the bottom. Now, I'll put my regular sand aside and use a little bit more of this hydrophobic sand. So what the hydrophobic sand does is essentially it all groups together. I'll show you a little bit here. See, it's a little bit clumpier. You can tell it's got a little bit more moisture in it, but that's just the water sealant spray. So what I'm going to do is dump it in the sand and watch how it reacts. Hold on, loud car. I want you to be able to hear me. Okay, here we go. Can you see the difference? There are big clumps of sand in the water where the hydrophobic sand went in, as opposed to the individual grains over there. I'll show you a little bit more. Here we go. Another big handful. See how it all clumps up? Now when I put the regular sand in, slides right through, but the hydrophobic clumps right up. Bloop. Okay, so that what it does is it forms a group to try and protect itself from the water with that sealant in it. Now when I pick it up, it's almost dry again. Now I probably didn't coat mine as well as I should have, but you can still see the effect that it has. Let me try to dry my hands off and I'll get the camera a little better look. I don't want to touch my computer with all that sand and water on me. So this was another really cheap and easy project. Let's see. What I can do here. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to tell. Okay. But it's just water sealant. You can buy it to use for your shoes or like outside furniture, things that you want protected from the weather. And I just spray it all over the sand, stir the sand up, spray it all over, let it dry for a little bit. I did that a handful of times. And then I tested it out and put some in the water to see how it worked, and it clumps up pretty well. You can definitely see the difference. I'm hoping you can at least. All right, so that is our hydrophobic sand for this week. If you've got some water sealing type of stuff at home, ask your parents if you can do this. It was really a pretty fun experiment, and I know even if yours doesn't clump up like the hydrophobic sand is supposed to, then it's still fun to just play with the sand in the water, the textures and everything. My kids love it. I think I left a bin of it at home so that they could play with it. All right, so thanks for joining me. I will put a link in the description about hydrophobic sand and how it's made in a little bit more scientific detail about it, because again, I'm not a scientist, but I'm happy I got to share this with you. Stay safe, keep reading, and I'll see you soon. Bye.